Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 11, and we are back at the Nashville Armory again, Left Hand.
Yes, sir, we are. This is turning out to be one of my favorite places.
We've got a video going this time, so you can actually see what is going on in the place, and you can really believe that it is as cool, or at least the part we're in, is as cool as
this is the lounge. We're in the lounge area.
The Shooter's Lounge.
Shooter's Lounge.
A little window into the range back there. So go to YouTube. You'll be able to see the highlight video on there, probably in about 8 months, as long as it takes me to edit those. Nah, it's not that bad. I'm getting the hang of it now.
Quick.
I'm getting the hang of it.
You're doing good.
And we want to welcome Andrew back. Y'all may recognize him from our Gun Shop Diaries show before.
Good to be back, Zeke, in Left Hand.
Glad to have you.
Did y'all do anything fun with guns this week?
I do things fun with guns every day, Zeke. Every day.
His life is just full of guns, fun guns.
My office is full of guns.
What was anything weird happened this week here?
Oh, there's always something weird.
Something out of the ordinary?
I'm trying to think of anything particularly weird. Oh, we did have some interesting customers that had to leave early. we had I think some guys that had just finished playing a Rastafarian concert came in to shoot, and came in to shoot, and unfortunately we weren't able to let them on the range.
It's a little obvious, huh? So they didn't fire up on the range then.
No, they absolutely fired up. They must have done it in the parking lot as strong as they smelled.
I don't doubt it.
It was quite amusing. They were cool, though. You know, they were high. They were chill. They were just like, all right, dude.
One of our... P-Dog was on our show. You remember P-Dog?
Oh, yeah.
We were talking the other day, and it's hilarious. He woke up one morning, he heard voices in his backyard.
That's called schizophrenia.
No, it's not. And he peeked out the window, and there were these 3 teenagers out on his back patio area. You know, he's thinking they're getting ready to break in. So, you know, he's got his gun ready. So he's looking out his back window watching them. And, determines they're not a threat at this point. So he pulls his phone out, and he starts videoing them. One of the kids reaches in his backpack, and they pull out some guns. And they start firing up right there on his back porch. And you can hear... And you can hear them, you know, they're paranoid. They're looking around. You sure nobody lives here? You sure this place is vacant? They're like, yeah, man. He goes, let me show you. So he reaches to his back door, and at this point, P-Dog has moved over to his back door. He's got his gun. Of course, he's got it unloaded because he's playing around with it. But he's got his gun drawn. As soon as that kid opens the door, he jerks the door open, and the kid comes through the door, and his forehead's right on the gun.
Oh,
and
Lord.
He said the kid peed his pants and did the other in his pants. Fell flat down. The other 2 took off, just scattered. But, you know, WTF? What the crap? What are these kids thinking? I mean, firing up.
Since when did crap start with F?
What the crap? Well, you know, I'm trying to keep us with the
We're
ratings.
a clean family show.
The iTunes ratings, but...
and here we are talking about smoking
unbelievable gun. Yeah, we're talking about guns. We're the gun show. So
yeah. What are you going to do?
Gun show. What the heck?
Well, I have not done a whole lot this week. I did practice the 4-stroke draw a lot.
I did. I've been doing that too.
4-step draw stroke. Yeah, I said it wrong.
4-step.
How fast can you do it, Zeke?
I didn't time it yet. It's really slow, so I don't want to time it because I'll know it'll be really embarrassing.
Yeah, I've been doing it every morning when I get up.
No Magnum PI in?
Yeah, I'm throwing the mustache, you know.
You're not wearing the short shorts, though, are you?
Well, yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, I got my skimmies on when I'm doing it.
You guys are really
just
lucky
that
the video can't see under the table.
But, the four-step draw
Yeah,
stroke.
that's really all I've really done in guns, except for, you know, the podcast, videos, getting that stuff ready, and editing and all that stuff, which I'm going to start cross-training you so you can start doing it too.
That's dangerous.
It could be. But can I talk about the one you showed me a minute ago?
I don't even remember which one I showed you a minute ago.
The one you paid $25 for total.
Oh, yeah, that old Blackhawk. Yeah.
It was freaking awesome.
What is it?
A little single-action revolver Ruger Blackhawk. It's got an old cowboy holster, and it's a Ruger, what'd you say, Blackhawk?
Blackhawk, yeah.
Do you know what year it is? Did you research it at all?
Nah.
Tell the story of how you got it for $25, all of it.
I bought the cowboy rig at a garage sale for $5. And then I bought the Blackhawk in pieces, covered in rust, in a brown paper sack for $20. And had a buddy of my brother-in-law was going to gunsmithing school. He was looking for some projects, and I said, I got a project for you. And handed him this paper sack, and he looked in and asked me what it was. I told him it was a Ruger Blackhawk, and I was in no hurry to get it back, and he could do whatever he wanted with it. And
learn away, right?
he brought it back, and Looks good. He refinished. It's pitted pretty bad, but he's put a matte black finish on it, polished out the aluminum, put the original grips back on it, and I think I've killed 6 or 7 deer with it too.
Awesome.
Awesome. So while he runs to get that,
We can go into corrections from last week. The only real correction we had from last week, the audio got a little wonky when I started describing the Elton John grip that we newly dubbed for Palisade Tactical.
yeah, Sam,
Yeah, so hopefully it won't get wonky again, but
the Elton John grip. Yeah.
it's where you're gripping the gun with just your trigger finger and your thumb, and you flare out your other 3 fingers. And it's to teach you to not anticipate the recoil. And it worked pretty well.
We were still
slow
surprisingly
squeeze.
accurate doing
Yeah,
that.
and it was still pretty
Too.
accurate. But we called it the Elton John grip. You could figure that out yourself. Just grab your gun, flare your 3 fingers out.
And there you have it.
The old John grip, that's nice.
Yeah.
I've got another correction that we need to go back several shows ago, maybe 3 or 4.
Is this the Scorpion?
Yeah, it's a Scorpion. We're going to talk about the Scorpion.
You're not the only one that's corrected me.
I was not wrong.
We were both right.
Well, we were, yeah. But the Scorpion is
I
basically
was a little more.
a,
I was more definitive about, and I was wrong.
Yeah, it's more of a style that SIG has, and they've got it on several of their models. So we technically we're both right. So.
I was trying to give you a hard time saying you actually did love the P220, but
I still don't.
yeah, I know.
Hate it
How can you hate a 220?
because it sucks.
Man, I don't know. I love
There
the
goes
220.
SIG as a
It's best-
sponsor.
Well, no, I
Best
like
double
other
action
SIGs. I just don't like the
45 made.
220.
Best double action 45 made, in my opinion. I love 220s. I have 2
Is
of
it really?
them. They shoot fantastic.
Really?
Good.
Nice.
Just like you're not going to watch Red Dawn 2, I'm not going to buy a SIG P220.
Deal.
Deal.
That's why they make so many different guns, because
But I do like
everybody's
the
different.
226s. Now, if somebody wanted to give me one, obviously I would take it and trade it for something else. But
So last week our Jack Wagoneer was,
Piers Morgan.
which now has become a phrase that we've used in everyday life all day, every day.
I bet you've taken a
It's
couple of
awesome.
Pierces today, haven't you?
Well, just one good Pierce this morning.
good- yeah. You're due for another one then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this week our Jack Wagoneer is
It's going to be Joe Biden for the whole double barrel shotgun comment he made when he says, all you need is a double barrel shotgun. It's more accurate. It's easier to shoot. And if you haven't seen the video we posted on Facebook,
I'm
it's
sure
not our
everybody
video,
knows
but-
about it by now.
yeah, it's
He's
hilarious.
way overdue to be the Jack
Hilarious.
Wagon,
It's
but
awesome.
we got to throw him in there. He's
yeah,
the Jack
he-
Wagoneer,
there was-
Jack Wagoneer of the week.
What's even funnier is that there was a guy in Virginia. He's a 22-year-old Virginia man. This is from the Washington Times. That it was the same day. I was going to say the day after, but it was the same day that Joe Biden made those comments on the press. He got arrested for firing a shotgun through the door of his house.
Well, then we posted a police officer where he lives comment on if his wife were to go on the back porch and fire that off.
Oh, yeah.
She would have to be arrested.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did check
Against
with
the law.
Metro Police here in Nashville, and they said that you absolutely cannot shoot the shotgun off your back porch in city limits.
Wow.
So I don't know. I guess Joe Biden must have gotten some bad information from one of his aides.
Well, maybe
Thank you,
they're
Biden, for that
gonna
good info.
maybe they're gonna invoke the presidential.
I say we all go home and shoot off our back porch and say our vice president told us to do it.
I got the video right here.
Yep.
Just show it to the guys.
Just have it for the cops.
Joe
right?
Biden, he said I could
said
do
I
it.
could do it.
What's it called when the president can override everything and
Executive power.
yeah, he's
Executive
going
order. Make an executive order.
Apparently, they're going to initiate the executive order
To
and,
shoot off your back porch.
To shoot off your back porch. And
That
make
would
it
be
okay.
awesome.
Only shotguns, though, guys. Only shotguns.
Only shot.
Let's
Two.
be serious.
Double barrel shotgun.
Double barrel shotgun.
Yeah,
Only
it has to
double
be
barrel
double
shotgun.
Now, is that side by side and over and under, or just side by side?
Over under's too
He
fancy.
didn't clarify.
We're gonna have to get some clarification on that.
We need some
I'm gonna write
clarification.
my congressman.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should start a new letter campaign. Is it
But
over
the-
under or side by side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna contact Jim Cooper's office in the morning.
We put out the word to some of our listeners on Facebook if they had any questions for Gun Shop guys. So we only got one really here. Don't know what happened. We had a lot of likes from it, but oh well.
I guess
Joey
everybody
B.
knows everything there is to know about
That show was that informative.
gunshot.
It was that informative.
That's
The
what
last
it
show,
is.
you
No
told
questions.
everybody everything
Yeah.
they needed to know.
Right. They don't. We need more questions.
There were no more
You
questions.
should have held back.
I know.
Dadgummit.
Man.
So Joey B wants to know which polymer pistols are staying on the shelves longest these days, and how bad is the availability for everything?
Definitely XDs are probably on the shelf the longest, but I think just because the XDs ship better, they're probably one of the better shipping polymer guns right now. I don't carry every polymer brand here, nor do I care to. So I can comment on, some of them. The M&Ps are very hard to get. The Glocks are obviously completely dried up. Just for an example, I would typically, before the craze went by, I'd get about 15 Glock 19s a week on a I just had a scheduled delivery every Wednesday. I got 15 Glock 19s. I mean, and other stuff, but now I'm lucky to get, 2 every 2 weeks.
Right.
So as far as the availability goes, it's just dried up. People don't need to panic. It's going to get caught up. Deliveries are already much better than they have been. I don't know if Zeke and Left Hand looked around today when they came in, but the store's pretty full right now.
Yeah, it is.
If we didn't look around with all these guns here, we would not be doing this.
So, availability is definitely getting better. It's all about, everybody buys in different ways. So some gun shops have better availability than others. I've done this for a while. I diversify, so I buy from a lot of different places. So I typically get a lot of stock in. And we're getting as much, if not more, than we were getting before the craze. It just doesn't stay on the shelves very long.
Gotcha.
So it just moves really quick. But polymer frame availability, I would say definitely the most available polymer frame guns I'm getting are Springfield XDs and XDMs. I've got quite a few of those in stock.
Those seem to be pretty popular, too.
Yeah, they're good guns. Very, very nice guns. They shoot well. They're easy to shoot, so good for a beginner.
I've got the XDM 9 and 45, the compact 45.
Yeah,
really
pretty much
guns.
Across the board. All the other gun stores I go to throughout the week, that's the main polymer one they're keeping in stock is the XDMs.
Yep, XDM ship good.
I got a question for you. Have you noticed any new companies trying to get in the gun game because of this the shortage, trying to jump in and take advantage of this?
It's such a long-term investment and R&D before you can actually launch a brand. Nobody can, knee-jerk react that quickly to it.
Yeah.
There are a couple new guys that are popping up on the market. I believe one of them is Lionheart. That's a new pistol that's coming out. So it's a metal gun, not a polymer gun, which is kind of cool. And so that's a new brand. And there's, but
are they going to be like
the most
1911s or what?
No, it's an all new kind of pistol. It's an all new kind of pistol. It's it's just a standard double action. It's kind of a throwback almost.
Is it?
Yeah, more along the lines of old metal guns that people really liked and shot well.
I would think that somebody that was, of course, like you said, a lot of R&D and everything goes into it. But if somebody was right at that verge, this would be a great time for them to jump in and.
Absolutely.
Because everybody else's is gone, and then, of course, theirs would be there. And
yeah, I think Sky Pistols is taking a lot of advantage. If anybody's familiar with the Sky Pistols, they're definitely taking a lot of advantage of the shortage right now. They're shipping pretty decent. It's a newer pistol company, but they started this whole process, almost 2 years ago.
I like the looks of those.
Not bad guns at all.
Never shot one.
Definitely on the lower end of the price range.
What do they run?
Around $300.
Yeah, like $299.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, they're not bad.
It's like a hand-sized 9mm, very compact.
It's kind
I
of.
don't think they make a big one, do they?
No, they don't make a big gun. It's kind of quality-wise, I would put it, just from feel, fit, finish. I've only shot one. It shot okay, but as far as just like a utilitarian gun, I'd put it right in the kind of between Taurus and Ruger, somewhere in that area.
Oh wow!
But a good price range. I mean, I think they're pretty decent.
It's not
guns.
a high point.
No.
Not a Cobra.
Not quite. It's definitely a little above the Cobra, but not a bad gun. So they kind of were positioned really well for that.
Oh, Lorson. My first gun.
Yeah.
Man,
we got a buddy. That was his first gun. Still is, I guess. I don't think he's got anything else.
I think he got a shotgun.
Did he?
Yeah.
He took Biden's
y'all really
advice.
need to take care of him.
We do.
We tried.
He got a
I know
double barrel
helping him.
shotgun.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, side by side or over and under?
Love you, party.
I think it's side by side. I think you really, really followed Biden to the T.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's make sure it works right.
Those liberals, they always just do exactly what they're told.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to see my rig.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Let me see it.
For $25.
Literally, total cost on that is $25.
You didn't have to pay the guy anything? That was part of his training?
He didn't have to buy any parts.
Can I scan this smoke wagon?
It's clear, but I'd clear it again. You know how to clear single action?
I don't.
All right, flip the gate,
There.
Spin it.
and then spin the cylinder.
There's nothing like that click.
Yeah, I've killed a bunch of deer with it, 6 or 7 at least.
Really?
What's the chambered in?
357 Magnum.
Is it?
About 10 yards, just
You said
hat
this
to
was
them.
all rusted out.
It was in pieces. Everything but the aluminum frame was covered in rust.
Did it have all the parts and everything?
Every part was there.
You
Every
didn't
single
get new
part was
parts or
there.
anything?
Well, I mean, I figured he was going to have to buy a part or
Screws
two.
and stuff,
I figured he was going to have to buy a part or two or whatever, but every single part was in the bag.
Wow.
This is like...
He literally didn't have to buy anything. That's the grips that were on it, too. They were all hammered up,
You
but
know
I
how
thought
old
they
it
looked
is?
good. I mean, it's not that. It was probably from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
It's not an old gun. It's a Ruger. I mean, it's not a true cowboy gun because it has an adjustable rear sight.
So would somebody just bury it in their backyard or something?
I think somebody had intended to refinish it and put it in a paper sack. Like, took it all apart and stripped off the old finish. They were going to refinish and just never got around to it.
Right. You going to refinish it?
It is refinished. It's just that bad. The pitting's that bad. Yeah, that's as good as it's going to get. It's trash. That gun was complete. When I say covered in rust, I mean completely covered, like no bare metal on it that wasn't covered in rust.
Wow, that's an amazing job.
It's a mediocre job, but it was free.
That's cool.
I would even, well, yeah, you're probably right, 80s, because the firing pin's not on the hammer.
None of the Rugers are. Not the Blackhawks.
When did they
Even
start
the early
doing the
ones.
firing pin inside?
They've always done it.
Have
Always
they?
been an internal firing pin on the Ruger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Blackhawk series.
Were they like the first people to do it?
No. I think there was probably some cheap German ones that came out before the Ruger did. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I really don't know.
So our main subject today, we filmed a little video before we started recording the show about some sighting. Sean, who you heard on the last Nashville Armory episode, he helped us out with that. Did you get something out of that, Left Hand?
Yeah, I think we both did.
I did.
It was just basics. We weren't going into any great details. We just thought it'd be a good idea to talk a little bit about, as far as handguns and rifles go, just, basics, theory, concept of how you go about sighting your gun in. And Sean did a very good job, I thought, on explaining the basics of that.
Yeah, we did a video because actual lessons on sighting in is a very visual thing, thanks to Andrew.
It is. It's hard. It's hard to describe in words.
Right.
So we needed to make it a video. So.
But we are going to talk about different kinds of sights.
Talk about
which can be verbalized very
Absolutely.
easily. So as far as different sights go, one of the first ones I looked up was the ACOG. Everybody's heard about the ACOG, and what was hilarious is when I Googled ACOG, I got American Congress of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and I was pretty sure that's not what it stood for.
I don't think so.
So I dug a little bit deeper. It actually stands for Advanced Combat Optics Gun Sights. How do those work?
ACOGs?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of different models of ACOGs out there manufactured by a company called Trijicon. They come in different magnifications and with different reticles. Reticle's the pattern you see when you look inside of an optic. Not trying to dumb it down, but just if there's people that aren't familiar with it, that's what it's called when you look through an optic. The crosshairs or the dot or the they call it a
triangle.
Reticle. Yeah, they call it a reticle. So there's a lot of different
sign.
Yeah, there's one of those on the new
Smiley face.
EOTech one. There's a bunch of different stuff out there, but the Trijicon has a huge variety of them. But basically, the way it works is it has a magnification to it. Typically 3x, 3 times magnification. Some of them are 4x magnification. The ACOGs themselves have a standard reticle. They do it 2 different ways, where there's no fiber optic, and then they do one with fiber optic. The sight with fiber optic, there's a fiber optic piece on top of the sight, gathers ambient light from the environment it's in, funnels it into the sight, and makes the reticle glow. Red or green and yellow. They have red, yellow, green, a couple different colors. And then at night, when there's no ambient light available, the Trijicon ACOGs are lit with it's called tritium gas. It's a radioactive gas that's sealed in ampules. That's what glows the reticle at night. Different bullet drop compensations in them. We won't get into that. It's pretty complicated. But there's a lot of different ACOGs available.
Is Trijicon like the sole owner of the ACOG?
Yeah, the ACOG is only made by one company. It's Trijicon.
Trijicon.
There's a lot of knockoffs out there that look like ACOGs. I know there's several companies that make an optic that looks like an ACOG, try to play off on the ACOG, but they're not.
Right.
They are not.
They use fiber optics too in those.
Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them use batteries. The Trijicon ACOG, that's another reason the military loves that optic. It uses no batteries.
Right. I've got one on one of the guns that we test. Actually, we didn't do that when we did a different one, but yeah. Anyway, never mind. We didn't use it.
But you had one.
Yeah, I've got a Trijicon. It's not an ACOG though.
Oh, okay,
it's
gotcha.
a reflex.
There was what was it we shot last week when we shot Matt's?
His was a
Noveski?
ACOG.
I don't think it was an ACOG. It was a Trijicon.
Oh no, his was a.
It was a Trijicon.
It was an actual scope. It was an actual
Yeah.
Trijicon
The
scope.
AccuPoint?
The
Yes.
AccuPoint.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had
scope.
The little arrow.
the little
It's a
arrow,
European reticle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was nice.
It
That
was-
Noveski rifle was awesome.
it was dead solid. Perfect.
And nobody even invited me to that. What's going on here?
Talk to Terry about
I'm joking.
that.
I was working. Don't worry about it.
That was Terry's fault. Wasn't it?
That was
We'll
Terry.
blame Terry.
All Terry's fault. Do you want to go
Serious
and talk about night sights on pistols? Since we're talking about tritium gas and
Yeah, go
everything
ahead.
else.
Sure.
It kind of
Jump
falls in there. Night sights is something that confuses a lot of people on pistols or handguns. They can be on rifles as well. But night sights, your standard night sights are going to use tritium gas inserts. There's several different companies that make them. Some of your big ones are going to be Trijicon, obviously. They're one of the pioneers of it. Pepper Light also makes them. XS Night Sights does tritium sights. TrueGlow does tritium sights. So there's quite a few companies out there that do them. But the way they work is they have a sealed ampule of tritium gas, which is a radioactive gas, has a half-life of about 13 to 15 years. They'll glow for about 10 years solid. People say, do these glow at night? Mm-hmm. They do glow at night, but they actually glow all the time. They glow nonstop. They're glowing during the day. You just don't recognize it because it's not dark.
Right. Exactly.
They come in a few different colors. Basically, they insert these ampules into iron sights, which you can put on your firearm, front and rear. Some people just put them on the front. Some people put them on both. They come in several different varieties, but they're actually really great for carry guns. They're expensive. They added anywhere from $80 to $120 to a firearm, but they're great for carry guns. If you just got a range gun, and you don't want to spend the extra money on them, don't. But I definitely have eyes putting night sights on your carry guns.
Now, you said that it was a radioactive gas a couple times. Reassure the listeners that it's not anything that's dangerous. You're not going to have cancer.
It's in a really small quantity, and it's actually completely sealed in an epoxy ampule. You can't smash it open with a hammer.
Really?
You have Andrew's guarantee on that you're not going to wake up with a third eye.
You have Trigicon's guarantee. It's right on the box.
Yeah. Andrew clarified that real quick.
Yeah, I thought he would. Different night sights. What else is out there available? Is that about it as far as?
Well, of course, you've also got your standard iron sights, which you can change around. There's a bunch of different things out there for that. You can go adjustable if you want to do an adjustable rear sight. Typically, you're not going to have an adjustable front sight, but for handguns, there's a lot of adjustable rear sights you can add on to them. There's ones with paint. There's pretty colors. There's fiber optic. The possibilities are just about endless. They really limited only by which firearm you have.
And you guys carry a lot of those here, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody wanted to come in and compare the different ones.
Yeah, we carry several different brands here for a lot of different firearms, all your popular ones. We also install them here. So if anybody needs a set installed, we can do that here as well.
Now, as far as like laser sights and red dot sights, of course, the laser is attached to the outside of the gun, right?
It could be on the inside of the gun.
Oh, yeah, because don't they have the
Laser Max guide rod lasers?
Yeah. The guide rods. Forgot about those. But for the most part, it's not working the same way a red dot does. Kind of explain the difference. Because red dot, when you look at it through the reticle, it looks like a laser, but nobody outside of there can see it. So.
Well, you got it right there, see? A laser sight is projected on the target. So we would project a dot onto the actual target you're firing at, while a red dot is contained inside of the optic, and you would just line up your target with the dot inside the optic. And there's a couple of different kinds. Everybody just kind of varies out red dots, and most of them are basically the same. The one that would be different would be an EOTech. EOTechs are not red dot sights. They're actually holographic sights.
Okay.
So they actually project a hologram onto the target. So if people have an EOTech or they have any experience with EOTech, when you look through it, it looks like the dot is on the target.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not lining the dot up with the target. It's actually projected onto the target. It's actually a holographic sight, so it's a little bit different than your average red dot sight.
Okay, so the hologram is being projected on the target, and the only way you can see what's being projected is through the lens.
Through the lens, exactly. It's not actually on the target, but it gives that.
See, I learned a lot from that because I've always thought it was like the red dot. It was in that little lens, and I was, how can they get in that little thin lens?
Yeah, it is in the lens, but it's actually a hologram.
Does it use mirrors?
Yeah, it's reflected off. It's got two pieces of glass, and it projects from the bottom.
And then up on the lens itself.
If you want to look, if you're ever here at the Armory, there's a clear one that they made out of plastic so people can see how it works, and you can kind of see how it projects up and how it works. It's pretty cool. They're great optics.
Those are cool.
Maybe we can get a shot of that.
Yeah, sure.
As far as the iron sights, I've seen some of the older ones that have all the numbers that go up and down it.
That's so you can adjust your rear sight to pre-designated distances. You'll see them on a lot of the old military rifles.
Right.
It was. I guess at some point in military history, it was practical to shoot targets at 300 meters on a standard battle rifle. You don't really see that anymore. Some of them do. They still have long distance sights, but you have sights on a rifle for 1,000 meters and stuff like that. It's not really something you see a lot on military rifles. Some of the ARs and stuff, they still sight at 300 meters, but it's typically on older firearms, AKs, stuff like that.
So something we're seeing a lot of now too is we're talking red dots here, but they also have green dots and green lasers. They seem to be pretty prevalent.
Apparently, it's supposed to be you can see it better during the day.
Yep. So the green appears better during the day, but I'll be honest with you, it's very much individual. Very much individual. People see differently, especially in colors. I'm not just saying people are colorblind or not colorblind, but some people see some colors better. So one person might think a red one appears better during the day, while the guy right next to him might think the green one appears better during the day. Scientifically, the green's more visible during the day, but it's not always necessarily for that particular person. So other people see it in different ways. And, green's great, but it sucks if there's foliage around.
Good point.
Yeah.
But red's great, but it sucks if the sun's really bright.
Or if the bad guy's wearing a green shirt.
Or
Or a red shirt. So, I mean,
During
lasers
fall.
are lasers.
So
I'm not a fan of
smart
lasers,
bad guy
period.
would go
so-
rob a bank with a half green, half red shirt just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they
I
have
mean,
blue too, don't they? And then they're blue.
I haven't seen any blue lasers out yet.
mean,
There's blue LEDs. Haven't seen any blue lasers.
I've seen blue. Actually, it wasn't a blue dot. It was a blue crosshair
Yeah,
that lit up.
Okay,
Yeah.
reticle.
Yeah.
Reticle.
It was a Chinese knockoff.
I'm sure. I'm a big fan of those. Not really. I loathe them.
Well, with my Trijicon that I have, it's amber.
Yeah, it's a
an
reflex.
Yeah, the reflex is an amber dot.
And that's it's produced by Tritium. Yeah, there's also no battery in that side as well. The reflex side's been around for a really long time. It actually predates the ACOG.
It shows up really well
is
for
there-
me during the daytime.
Is there a
Anyway.
difference between like a reflex sight and a say EOTech?
Yeah, absolutely.
what are the differences?
Reflex sight is just a red dot sight.
Okay.
It's not necessarily red, but it's just a dot. You line the dot up with your target. It's not a holographic sight.
So it's similar to ACOG being their thing. The reflex sight is Trigicon's thing.
Or an aim point.
Those are both.
Or aim point is
yeah.
reflex.
Trigicon,
No, aim point-
ACOGs and reflexes are both Trigicon.
But aim point, as far as the dot, like he's talking about, would be similar to the
Gotcha.
reflex.
Yeah, very comparable. Difference being that the reflex doesn't use batteries. The ACOG, the aim points do use batteries.
What do you use, Andrew?
On my ARs, I like EOTechs. I'm a big fan of EOTechs. For me, they move fast. I can move from target to target quicker with the circle dot reticle as opposed to just a single dot. I have really crappy eyes. I'm supposed to wear glasses all the time. I don't, but single red dots are hard for me to pick up. But everybody's different when it comes to optics. So check them out, see what they look like, see what works for you. I like an EOTech. Next guy likes an aim point. Next guy likes a reflex.
Is there an
reflex.
advantage, a known advantage of an aim point over a reflex?
I mean, they're both dot sights. I mean, the only advantage I would say is over an aim point over why I pick a reflex over an aim point is no batteries.
Right.
But I mean,
Reliability.
they're both. Those are both really quality optics. You're not going to go wrong with any of them as long as you buy a good one. If you buy a cheap Chinese knockoff, yeah, you're going to have problems.
creek.
So don't skimp on your optic. That's what I tell people. I see it every day in the store. Guy comes in with a $3,000 rifle, literally a $3,000 rifle, and he has a $48 True Glow red dot on it. And I'm just like, seriously, dude? Seriously?
Blue is what on the
Yeah,
rifle?
you should have bought an $800 rifle and bought a $3,000 optic. It would have served you a whole lot better.
That's what I've always been told. If you're going to have to skimp on one or the other, skimp on the actual firearm.
The firearm, yeah.
And go with the...
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
I've heard your optics should cost as much or more than your firearm.
Twice.
as much.
2 times. Well, that's a precision rifle workout, but something that an old guy I used to shoot with told me something that really hits home when it comes to optics is you can make a cheap rifle shoot really good with a great optic, but you cannot make a great rifle shoot really good with a cheap optic.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good point. You said something about the batteries and having batteries, not having batteries. If you do end up going with something like the EOTech, I've heard that, of course, if we take the end of the world scenario type stuff, that it's better to go with the ones that have the double A's because they're easier to find. I mean, not just the
More readily available.
yeah, but then the other ones they last a lot longer, right?
Yeah, the CR123s. You've got now. You used to have 3 battery options with EOTech. You only have 2 now. AA batteries and CR123 3-volt lithium batteries. The advantages, disadvantages. I mean, they're batteries. I mean, you got to change them out. I have both. I have some that are CR123. I have some that are AA.
Right.
So put iron sights on your rifle for end of the world scenarios, just so everybody knows, because eventually that optic's going to crap out on you, and you're going to need something else. But
Buy some machetes.
yeah, get some head chopping machetes and
There
for
you go.
zombies, and you'll
Chainsaw.
be ready to roll. But yeah, I mean, with the batteries, that's always a concern when you start talking about in the world scenarios. But
Have you seen the attachment for the ARs, the chainsaw?
no, I have
attachment?
not. How have I not seen this?
I don't know. But there's a company out there that mounts on your rail a chainsaw.
Well, wait a second. I have a chainsaw and I have an AR. So
You
where do I
mount it?
get this mount?
No, they make the chainsaw.
Oh,
Oh,
I
they
think
make
I've
an
seen it. It's
actual
like a little
chainsaw.
Yeah,
mini
they
chainsaw,
make the actual chainsaw that goes on the end of the weapon. Yes.
Okay, Lieutenant, I'm going to need you to email me that link, please.
I'll research that and we'll post it. But yeah, it was at I think it was last year's SHOT Show.
How did I miss
These
The
guys
next time
were
we come in here, we're going to be in the
I
range,
miss
and
that?
we're going to be shooting. All of a sudden, we're here,
Chainsaw.
Me and Sean will both come running with it.
and they're going to be standing 2 feet from the target, just sawing it. And
yeah, obviously it is a
And
novelty.
here I was calling
but-
you a gear queer earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, man.
I know. Call him
come by- I come by-
the kettle black.
They come by it honestly, though. Yeah.
As far as magnification goes, no magnification. Of course, magnification you're going to want more for hunting long distance stuff. Short distance, always no magnification? Or
I tell everybody the first thing you need to do before you buy an optic is decide what you want to do with your optic. No one optic is going to do every single thing. There are ways with the flip to side magnifiers and things like that, but certain optics are much better at close
The
range.
doctors,
The dock
top
sights.
mount,
Yeah, when
yeah,
you buy
the
two
dock
docks, I mean,
sights.
there's ways around it, but you can't just buy one optic and that's going to do every single thing for you. So really, the first thing you decide is what do you want to accomplish with the rifle you're putting the optic on? What is your
primary
ultimate
use?
goal? What
Yeah.
are you going to use that rifle for?
Right.
You know, if you're like, well, I'm going to use it for home defense, then don't buy a magnified optic. You know, if you're like, well, I'm going to use it
what
for
if you have
shooting.
a really,
yeah.
really big house?
Well, if you've got a really, really big house, you can probably afford to buy two
With
optics.
super long hallways.
You could probably buy two optics.
Mr. GQ over here,
Yeah.
he's got a 10,000 square foot house. So.
Okay, well, maybe you do need magnification.
Indoor shooting range.
But
We're lying.
so, I
the
mean,
Nashville Armory is actually inside my house. Okay.
it's actually here. This is in his
Zeke's
basement.
house.
I work for
It's
Zeke.
underground. Cat's out of the bag.
Once
Yeah.
again, I wish.
But so just decide what you want to do with it. You know, if you want to shoot coyotes with it, buy an optic that's got some magnification to it. The military actually uses aim points, EOTechs, and ACOGs because there's different missions need different optics.
Right. Which is why they made the quick detach.
Yeah, and so there are also ways around. If you want to go with a something like an ACOG, you can attach an additional optic to it. There's a lot of these small red dots out. There's a Trijicon RMR. There's the less expensive Burris Fastfire, the Leupold Delta Point, the
And
Dr.
those just
Optics
mounts
site.
right up above your magnified optic.
You can mount them above your magnified
Typically.
optic. What a lot of people are doing now is they're mounting them forward of the optic on a 45 on the front rail. So that's
Seen
always
that.
an option for close quarter stuff. So like I said, decide what your primary use for the firearm is, then decide what your optic is. I mean, that's just my opinion, and it's a good way to start.
As far as you use the example of like the coyote hunting, definitely get magnification. Probably
Yeah.
deer hunting, magnification.
Magnification.
What about if you want to get into 3-gun competitions, like sport shooting?
Depends on the rules of the particular match and meet. If you can do multiple optics, which some allow and some don't, open class, blah, blah, blah. I would go with 2. Do the
gotcha.
front, mini red dot and do an ACOG or something with magnification in the back. Or you can do an EOTech with a magnifier, an aim point with a magnifier. If anybody hasn't seen that, just check them out on their websites. Flip to side magnifier is the way to go if you're going to do a magnifier. Do not buy a magnifier that does not match the brand of your optic. That's a key point. When you magnify something, you change the point of aim, point of impact. So say you buy one of the Mako really
Right.
inexpensive magnifiers and you put it in front of your EOTech.
UTG.
You put it in front of your EOTech. Well, you're going to have to sight your EOTech in through the magnification.
Gotcha.
And then if you take the magnification away, it's no longer going to be zeroed.
Right.
The reason that the EOTech ones and the aim point ones are more expensive is because they're made to magnify without changing your point aim, point of impact. So you don't have to resight between magnification and non-magnification. So
Gotcha.
keep that in mind. Don't try to skimp. It's
a good point.
It ain't going
Yeah.
to work.
So telescopic sights, that's pretty much anything with magnification?
Anything with magnification will be a telescopic sight.
And that's usually what you see on a lot of hunting rifles, right?
Yeah, that would be typically what you would refer to on a
Sniper
hunting rifle.
rifles.
Yeah.
How far can those, like the strongest telescopic sight, how far can you get with that?
God, I mean, there's
I know
guys
they
in the
have
military that are
probably
making
limitless,
shots
isn't
at 2,000 meters and stuff. So
Wow.
I mean,
That's
there's
amazing.
it probably is limitless. If somebody wanted to spend the money, you could. I mean, they make ones that you can see the moon with. So I mean,
Well, those drones
Yeah.
have those sights on them too.
Yeah.
They're targeting civilians nowadays.
no.
Okay, we just got this in from Greg and Laura. This is a question, and they've got several parts, but they're from Bloomington, Indiana. First question is, I shoot 9mm and like to clean my guns after coming home from shooting them. I try to clean them in the house, but my wife doesn't like the smell of the solvent. What's up with that? That stuff smells great.
It is. Number 9's the best, man.
Don't you rub it in your beard like a conditioner?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I take baths in it.
He uses
Slap
hops
expensive,
number
but-
9,
Which is what I use for aftershave.
eau de toilette.
Actually, I don't shave. Never mind.
Is there something out? Is there something else out there that doesn't have the smell? Was wondering about Ballistol, or is that just a protectant?
There's actually a ton of stuff on the market now. There's
Does
all
Polo
kinds.
make one?
Ralph Lauren has not come out with his new line yet, but I'm thinking he may.
He's missing a whole market there.
Him and Hilfiger are going to come out with some stuff.
That's right.
It's going to be called Tommy Guns.
Oh, nice. He's got to pay you for that now if he does come out.
There's a ton of biodegradable cleaners on the market now. There's bunches of them. They're all over the place. If you walk into a gun shop or a gun show and you can't find 15 different kinds, it's crazy. Uncle Mike's has a line of it. Their Elite Series, no odor. What was it? Frog Lube.
Who's the one?
Italian gun grease. I mean, there's just tons of them.
Somewhere that uses tea tree oil in it. Which that smells pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different. There's tons of stuff on the market now. So yeah, there's a lot of options available. But I still use number 9.
Yeah, I like the smell.
I use Clean Bore number 9. If you want to use a Powder Blast, smells like lemons from Break Free. That's like a gun scrubber from Break Free called Powder Blast. It smells like lemons.
Nice.
There you go.
Last week's trivia, we had Sam from Palisade Tactical give us the trivia question. It was, what is LGOP?
You know what LGOP is, Andrew?
Not with the he looked straight at the sheet.
Before you looked at the sheet, did you know what LGOP was?
Absolutely not. I had no idea what it was.
You want to give the answer, left hand?
It's little group of paratroopers.
That
right?
is correct. Little groups of paratroopers.
Little groups of paratroopers.
Is what
Do we know
LGOP
the
is.
history and purpose
We don't.
of that?
Sam just told us the answer. That was
We're
pretty
gonna
much
have
it.
to-
I know Sam pretty well. I think he probably just completely made that up just to make you guys look like
we had
dummies.
a lot of people get it right.
There's a lot of people that knew it. So.
Yeah.
It's probably
So-
Sam sending multiple emails to try to win the free prize, just so everybody
He
knows.
created. Oh wait, because he did offer up 2 hours of free training. He's trying to get the free training.
Are we doing a drawing for that today?
Not tonight. No,
The
we're
drawing's
going to do
not
that. The drawing for that will be next week.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that was last week's trivia. This week's trivia question, we're going to go back to our Walking Dead.
And we'll do a recent episode of the assault on the prison.
First time the governor got to the prison.
Yeah.
What was the bullpup that the governor was using when they first got to the prison? So that'll be the final trivia question to get the 2-hour training from Palisade Tactical. He did clarify, it wasn't in last week's episode, but he did clarify, if you are way out of state and you can't make it for that 2-hour training, he'll make it up to you with t-shirt, hat, something,
swag.
some swag from Palisade Tactical. So, but if you want to come to the state, you're set. You got a nice little 2-hour training.
That's going to be sweet, man. That's a nice giveaway.
It was a heck of a giveaway. AR Beauty Pageant deadline has passed. We gave you to the 1st. We have all of these submissions in. I think we have like 6 or 7, which is going to be
Is
good.
that it?
Yeah, but that's good.
Is that counting mine?
No, that's not counting yours. No, with yours we had like 20. But there's some really good ones. Some people sent in some good
I
ARs.
still hadn't submitted the Troy. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post the Troy. I've got all the stuff on it now. I got the rails in and got it sighted in finally. Thanks to
Billies.
got my squid. What do you call them?
Squid Billies.
Squidbillies. Yeah, I got my Squidbillies on there. They're
So-
nice and soft and cushy. Did you touch them?
Oh, yeah. I've touched them a bunch of times.
Wow, let's change the subject.
I like them a lot.
But for that beauty pageant, it's going to be really fun. Sam has agreed to be a judge. He's former Green Beret, or still Green Beret.
Still,
We also have Bruce, who is a SWAT team member.
Cool.
And we have our civilian shooter guest, which is, I guess we can go ahead and announce it. He confirmed the other day, 22 Plinkster from YouTube fame.
cool.
So he'll be one of the guest judges.
Where is the venue for this beauty pageant?
We're sitting in it.
Excellent.
I think Andrew needs to be a judge as well.
That's not a bad idea. So we'll have a military, a police, a civilian, and a gun shop.
There you go. That
That'll be
works.
awesome.
That's a pretty diverse group to do the judging.
And then you and I walking by in our bathing suits showing the ARs. No.
God, no.
Not going to happen.
And that's not going to happen here in the Shooter's Lounge, I can assure you.
No.
Not happening.
I might wear a wife beater or something, though. Go.
It's time for facts to fight the myths. My myth this week is gun buybacks are one of the most effective ways to stop gun violence. That is a myth. Wrong.
Wrong. Again.
Typical buyback is only going to offer like $25, $50 for a gun, which means the only people that are going to be bringing guns to that gun buyback are the ones like your paper sack bag. Here's a gun. Give me $25, $50. The people that are committing murders and violence with guns are not going to go to the gun buyback and give those guns away.
They're going to meet the people like a mile down the road before they even get there,
And take it.
give
And
them
give them $50.
$50 for their gun.
Yeah, no, that's what we're going to do.
They'll probably
We're
just
going to
take
set
it.
up a table down the road and give them the money.
Yeah, this has got to be the stupidest program ever devised.
It really is. Most of the guns that they bring to these gun buybacks tend to be inoperable anyways. They don't even work. So if somebody's bringing inoperable guns to a gun buyback for $50, how is that going to stop gun violence? The logic is so flawed, it makes me want to vomit. There were some calculations I saw on the interwebs. One of them is any particular handgun in the United States will kill a person about once every 10,000 years. That is the average with a statistic that one of these guys threw out. So in order to prevent one homicide in a year, you would need to get 10,000 guns brought back in a gun buyback. So the thing is, you usually don't get 10,000 guns, and they're not the guns that are used to kill the people. So the typical gun buyback program would not save but maybe 0.0001 lives. So needless to say, that is definitely a myth, and there's the facts that can fight that.
Yeah, I've got a gun myth. Since we were talking about lasers earlier, this may not necessarily be a myth, but it's not a good idea, we'll put it that way. A lot of people say, well, get a laser on your gun, because if you point a laser at somebody, they're going to get scared and run away, so you won't have to shoot them. That would definitely be a myth.
It's kind of like racking the slide on a
shotgun. I think that would definitely be a myth. Don't buy a laser sight because you think it's going to scare someone away and you're not going to have to shoot them. If you put a laser on somebody, you better be prepared to pull the trigger. So I would say that's sort of a myth.
I'd say it's a myth.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is. Kind of stole my thunder because that was the shotgun one was the route I was going to go with that about racking the...
Go with it.
Well, I mean, we just talked about it. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's...
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
A noise is not going to scare somebody off if they're really set. And not to mention, you got somebody tweaking out on meth or whatever other drug they're on.
They're not going to notice the red dot.
No. They're going to think they're tripping and seeing red beans everywhere.
It's going to sound like Square Bob
Square Bob Punch Pants.
Square Bob Spongy Pants. What, I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know.
Yeah,
SquarePants. So we got some new listener feedback here. Ian on Facebook writes, "Hey guys, Ian from Australia here." Australia, pretty cool. We got some listeners over there. "I'm really enjoying the show and just wanted to congratulate you on a job well done. Your cast is very entertaining and informative, and I'm learning a great deal about a subject I never really had an interest in before."
I wonder if he eats kangaroo roadkill.
He might. That's probably pretty tasty.
We talked about that on the
Weekend Guns. Yeah, I heard that, the Roadkill show. "I have never seen or held a gun before, but after listening to you and hearing your enthusiasm, I am planning to go to a club and get some training. I'm only up to cast 5 so far, but I am plowing through them to try and catch up. Thanks again for all the hard work you were doing. P.S. Facts to Fight the Myths is an excellent segment. I look forward to every cast." Well, Ian, if you ever get to the States, come to Tennessee and we'll let you shoot whatever gun we can possibly get our hands on.
Any and all.
We got some new iTunes reviews. Left hand, you want to take that first one?
If I can read it. Is this it right here? Mm-hmm. Okay, iTunes. "Like sitting down with a couple of buddies and BSing about firearms and all things firearms related."
That was from Pleece, I think is what it says. Plecce. Gave us 5 stars and said it entertains and educates. Also, Way of Life, 5 stars by Chris Britt 15. "Just wanted to say, great job on the podcast. Subscribed a few days ago, and I'm already hooked. If it was possible, I would have given it 10 stars. I've been listening to all the segments and find myself either laughing at some of the comments or completely agreeing with everything you guys are saying. Proud to say that I've found my new go-to podcast for the first thing in the mornings and the long drives home. Thanks for all your hard work, and keep it up."
Thanks, man.
Next
Dr. KDUC? Kaduk, "The best. My favorite podcast by far. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Like all the gun podcasts, but yours is the best out of the Firearms Radio Network."
Which we love all our other Firearms Radio Network, but that was awesome.
I take that.
The last one here, we've got great show, 5 stars. Sending some Leadhead love from Minnesota. "Really enjoy the show, fellas. Keep up the great work. A very entertaining show to listen to while at work, on the road, or even better, in the reloading room." That's from Fishy MN.
Oh, wait a
MN's
minute.
Minnesota, right?
Yeah, we got another one. You skipped one.
Oh, I did?
Raw Deal.
That would be Real Deal.
Oh,
Haas.
Raw Deal.
Real.
Okay, you're going to edit that out. Real Deal by Lodge 12. I can't believe how much better you guys have gotten in the past 10 shows. You are on track to surpass the mothership Gun Guy Radio.
Which we love Gun Guy Radio too.
We're on your tails, guys.
But that was an awfully nice comment. And that was Lodge 12. I think, I could be mistaken.
Do we know
I don't have
who
it in
Lodge
front of me.
12 is?
No, Lodge 12 was one of our first constructive criticisms that we really appreciated. And we kind of took some advice.
Oh, okay.
And,
So
paid off.
apparently he's been keeping track. And
we need to listen to people more often. Pretty
Well.
awesome. So, Andrew, we appreciate you letting us come back again and having us here. And thank you for being on the show again. Give us some good information.
appreciate the use of the range too, bro.
Anytime, guys. Love having you here.
And as always, left hand, keep your loved ones close.
And keep your firearms closer.